The following presentation is brought to you by the Realm Network.
I had a lot of pent-up emotion and needed therapy or whatever, trauma, and that has come out maybe on like some drunken YouTube videos or like, outlets that I don't particularly care to watch. I don't want to see myself like that. I don't know what the alternative was. Things came out that I've said maybe that are understandable, but maybe not justifiable. And so I'm trying to take accountability for whatever my part in any mayhem might be. I'm willing to take total accountability. Let's talk about it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to help in my process of forgiveness, which I'm just not there yet. I'm trying. Mm-hmm. And I know I have gotten, the sermons from church and from my friends and everything about forgiveness. I'm having a hard time with that because when you're still in the mix, it's hard to forget. If people are genuinely sorry, and they come to you and they say, I'm sorry, let's work it out, I want to move on, then it's easier to forgive. But if people are still like wiener dogging you, if they're still on top of you, it's hard. It's hard to go through that forgiveness process. But I know that I have to do that myself. And I also understand that, whatever I may have said or done in a drunken state or, what I'm supposed to say or what I'm not supposed to say. Sometimes I think like, well, no, I have every right to say this about Hunter or Sean or the WW Vince or what happened. And then I say like, and then on the other hand, I say like, well, I shouldn't have said anything or I don't need to say anything. So it's this constant conflict in my mind. But, and I don't know. But so I'm willing to take accountability for my misappropriations, whatever they may be.
Yeah, Chyna, you know what it is? And listen, I'm on a whole different level.
Because I'm doing me right now.
Yeah.
At this point, I got to do me. And I would like to get to that point where I'm not thinking about that on a daily basis. Or, people just say, oh, get over it.
Yeah, no,
Chyna, you can explain to that. It's not just about getting, although I'm getting there. I'm getting there. And I would like to get over it.
Yeah.
But, I'm trying to take accountability for my own actions and God and doing my own thing there.
Yeah. Well, Joanie, a lot. Listen, I'm not exactly in your boat, but I'm a little bit in the boat because, let's face it, I'm on the shit list because, in what I do now, I'm a critic and I critique the product. And unless I sit there and put them over 24/7, which I'm not going to do, then I'm arch enemy number one. They can't separate, okay, Vince is doing this for a living compared to the personal Vince that, gave a large part of his life to us. They can't separate the two. So what makes it difficult for me, I'm sure, is the same thing that makes it difficult for you. I sit here and I say, you know what? Can we forget all the bullshit? Life's too short. This is so petty. At the end of the day, none of this is even going to matter. None of it.
Okay, but what confuses me is that what makes you and me like so pertinent in the big picture. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Are you kidding me? Like, are we like a needle in the haystack? Like, what is it? Like, what's the problem?
Yeah, Joanie, you know what the saddest thing is? Listen to this.
I get it.
Let me break it down to you, okay? There's a guy that's a member of the brand. Very nicest guy in the world. He works at King Soopers. Every time I go to King Soopers, the guy gives me a nice big fresh box of chicken for free. Okay? Every time I go to King Soopers. His name is Randy. He's a sweetheart. So, Chyna, listen to how sad this is, Joanie. This kind of like just bottles it up. Something this simple. The guy's got 3 young boys that are wrestling fans. okay? They're coming to Denver on Monday. I would love to be able to, Randy, there's 4 tickets waiting for you at the box office. Bring the 3 kids, enjoy. How sad is it, Joni, that, I cannot even call anybody and get a comp ticket to the show? I mean, but when you break it down that way, isn't it freaking hysterical? I mean, isn't that are you freaking kidding me? I gave you 5 years of the best years of my life. I can't get a freaking ticket to go to the show? I mean, come on. Do you think can you call in the tickets for me? You think?
I'm 86. You sound like I'm 86. I can't even. Except Howard Finkel called me this morning. So
it's unbelievable to me. It's like, can we freaking stop already?
Isn't a little? Yeah. I don't know.
Joni, here's the other thing that I want to talk about, and me, you, and Anthony. And Anthony is Joni's manager. Is it manager? Is that the right word?
He doesn't. He's not manager. He's mostly a project manager for projects, but he is managing me. Yes. Okay.
Anthony's Joni's manager, and we sat down and had a very, very long discussion in California, because I really tried to understand. And Joni, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if I still do. And let's talk about this. Let's start.
You don't know if you what?
I don't know if I still understand. We're going to talk about this in a second. Let's talk about, obviously now, hours and hours and hours and hours of going into this documentary project. Tell us a little bit about the project first.
I think it's just a story for the fans, by the fans, of what has happened, my campaign into the Hall of Fame, and, kind of I saw it as I always liked that, what happened to Dave Chappelle when he went to Africa, and that story. And then I just recently saw the Amy Winehouse documentary, and I thought it was incredibly compelling. I loved it.
I just saw that a couple of days ago. Same thing. I was like, oh my gosh,
I loved it.
Terrific.
I loved seeing her. Yeah. It was amazing when she was drunk off her ass, and then fell asleep, and then woke up in Serbia and going on stage like that with these people. I was like,
unbelievable.
Oh, and her love for this guy and what happened, I was completely compelling. And then I had also watched the Kurt Cobain one, and I wanted to see, with that documentary, I wanted to see him more, just without Courtney Love as much.
Right.
Camera, playing with the camera. I just wanted to see his own personal space a little bit. And I think I'm just starting to get the documentary myself a little bit, because I don't really realize that I'm actually doing the documentary. But I think after all these years, I'm starting to realize what it is that I accomplished in the wrestling business, and maybe, I don't know, the type of anomaly that has happened, or interesting subject matter. I don't know, but we're just following my life, and it's going for a year, and I think we're obviously campaigning for the Hall of Fame. Happen, or it's not going to happen, but it's taking you on the journey of the insides of all of this that's happening, the politics and the journey, and what it means to me, what it means to the fans, all of that. So, all of the desperation, all of the whatever with the Hall of Fame, it's not necessarily about that. It's about the backstory and about the whole journey and what it means. And I think it's a compelling story. And also, since I've been back, it's every day something new is coming at me. And I don't know what's happening. But it's crazy that we're documenting it, and it's like it, you know, I'm loving it because I feel like it's a success story. I hope to be a success, you know.
Yeah.
I hope to be one of the good stories.
I want to ask you. I want to ask you about the Hall of Fame for a second, but before I do, because I have ADD, I got to make a quick left turn here. There's a question in my head that I have to ask you, okay? Because I got ADD. If you go, let me ask you a question. Say tomorrow, you get on the plane and you go to Stamford, Connecticut, and you go to Titan Tower, right? If right before you go in the building in that big lobby there, okay? Do you think if you put on the lip gloss first and then you went in, they would give you tickets for Vince Russo to go to the show in Denver? I'm just curious. I mean, what are our chances?
Not a chance.
That would be great for the film, though. That'd be great for the documentary, right? Just show up there and say, "Hey, Vince has a friend that needs to go to the show on Monday." Joanie, here's what I
love you, Vince.
I love you too more than anything, and that's why I have to say this. And I said this when we sat down to dinner because I want to make sure you understand this. This is what's bothering me a little bit. This Hall of Fame thing, okay? At the end of the day, it's one guy's decision. Period. And Vince McMahon decides whether you go in the Hall of Fame or not. Period. End of story. It's one man's decision. So that's why, like, I just want to make sure, and I want to clarify with you. I hope, like, they're in no way, shape, or form at this point in your life with everything you've accomplished and the ups and downs, and here you are, you overcame it all. I just hope that in no way, shape, or form do you feel like I need the final approval of Vince McMahon in order to be vindicated, because like that's what. Okay.
Not that. And you know what? Ultimately, I really don't care, because, you know, isn't it obvious? But I owe it to myself and to the fans, and to keep poking them and say, this is what I deserve. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But every time they turn around, I'm going to be there.
Isn't it almost like embarrassing about how obvious it is? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's embarrassing just how obvious it is.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go away. I'm not going to not take away everything I've done or that they've done for me. Okay? I'm not going to make it disappear. No. I'm Chyna. The rest of my life, I've been woven into the fabric of Americana. I'm very grateful for that. I love that. For the rest of my life, I will be able to go do an appearance and pay my rent and put a roof over my head. You know, I've accomplished amazing things, been in the ring with amazing people. You know, I'm not gonna deny that. So let them react however they want, but I'm not going away.
Well, speaking of not going away, let me ask you this: do you think we'll ever see Chyna in the ring again?
I don't know. Maybe it would have to be like a very special thing. You know, I'm vegan now. I've changed my body. It's not like, you know, I think that people are just starting to get the fact that it's not 15 years ago. I'm not the same person that I was 15 years ago. I'm a different person, you know. I'm a vegan. I'm a yogi, you know. I'm a ballerina. I've, like, you know, moved on with my stuff. So, but, you know, of course, obviously there's, you know, there might be like a one, you know, final, like, splendid match. I don't know.
Now, Joanie, I think we could talk about.
I'm not going to do it. I don't feel the need to do it just to do it.
Well, you don't have to. Obviously, you don't have to do it.
I feel like I've already been in the ring with them. Like, other people like say, like, who's your favorite diva or whatever. I don't consider myself a diva in the first place. You know, I've been in the ring with the most amazing wrestlers in the world, you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't think about, like, if people say, like, what's your dream match? My dream match? Are you kidding? I've had them all. I've done everything, like, what I've done, like, and who I've been with in the ring is, like, it can never be duplicated.
Right. Now, Joan, I'm going to ask you about this because you said at the beginning of the interview it was okay to talk about this. I didn't know if it was okay, but you're going to be on back on TV, in a very, very interesting role coming up here shortly. I don't think anybody knows about this because you told me, but you told me I had to kayfabe it, so I kept my big trap shut. But now you said it's okay to talk about it. Can you tell us where we're going to be seeing you soon?
Yes, well, part of the reconstruction of Chyna has been mind, body, and soul. And so I did this episode of Botched, and they did some plastic surgery on me, and we redid my breasts, and also a scar on my abdomen, which I had for many years, and with the best plastic surgeon in the world, Dr. Terry Dubrow, and also Dr. Paul Nassif was in the mix. And they came at me, and I actually at first didn't want to do it because I thought that it was going to be like a mockery in front of the public eye, and, I didn't want to show my scars and, like, my flaws in front of the world, and especially just coming back from Japan and getting back out there. And it actually turned out to be like this amazing, amazing process with them. And I feel amazing and great. And it's called The Botched is the show. It's on E. And it's just crazy how it worked out. I'm feeling amazing.
Hey, Joanie, did you now? I want to get a little personal here because I just want to understand. Did you have, before you did the Botched, did you go through numerous surgeries?
I did. I was after after all of the porn stuff happened, and all of the critique, if you will, and I took off to Japan. I wanted to make a change, again, mind, body, and soul. And so I went to Thailand, and I wanted to make my breasts smaller and more just,
manageable.
Manageable. Yeah, just, kind of not so circusy,
right,
if you will. And I went to Thailand, and I ended up having a lot of physical scarring, specifically to be out of the media and not have that in the media. Ended up being like a lot of physical scarring that turned out to be botched. And so when Botched, the program, approached me, I was thinking, should I do this or not? And I just decided to go for it. And I think they're telling a really great story, and it's a great way to put me back out there again. And they're going to actually use that for their season 3 premiere, I think, and telling a great story. And I was so grateful to work with these doctors and E! Entertainment and feeling like I'm feeling now. And the universe is giving to me right now. I can't even explain it.
Was it all cosmetic with the scarring, or was there's some pain involved? Did they just totally screw it up?
No, it was definitely cosmetic.
Yeah.
However, where you are mentally at the time when you're experiencing that stuff definitely affects you. So it's almost kind of like this rebirth, and, starting over again, new place, new body, everything. And it definitely has played a major effect. It's like 1/3 mind, body, and soul. It's like 1/3 of what I'm going through.
Hey, Joni, let me ask you this. When you did that little stint...
And they're definitely, and aside from the fact that they're definitely Team China, I mean, they were coming after me.
Yeah.
And they're saying, like, let's do this. And to have that, it's like, changes my world.
Well, everybody's Team China, for crying out loud. You know that. China, let me ask you this. Remember, you did the little stint. We did the little stint together at TNA. It was after that you went to Japan, right?
Right.
And you were there for what? How many years were you in Japan?
Almost 5 years. 4 years consecutively.
I want to ask you this now. Now that you're back home, you live in a beautiful house there right on the ocean. We all hear it in the background. You look great. I'm telling you, you think I BS you when I say you look great. Every time when I saw you at TNA and when I saw you at the convention, you look freaking stunning. You look absolutely beautiful and great. Let me ask you this though. What looking back now, how did the Japan experience help you, if it did in any way? Like, listen, every step of our lives gets us to where we are, and I believe it's all supposed to happen for a reason. And I think you do too. It's the blueprint of our lives. So that time in Japan, what did you get out of that time that helped you as a person?
Well, I'm not going to put myself in that limelight, but I think I was kind of like the Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan type of person in the wrestling world. Like, you know, after the wrestling, I got into the mainstream, and so I think I was dealing with that on that level. And then going to Japan just allowed me to completely detach, you know. I couldn't understand what people were saying. There was no paparazzi. People knew who I was, but they don't come at you like that. You know, there was no newspaper articles. There's no internet. Nobody's taking pictures. Nobody's camped outside your house. So, you know, and that could be looked at as a bad thing or a good thing, because eventually you have to check into life, right? But I think at that time it was either suicide or making a move for me. And I'm really glad I went to Japan, and it was like kind of a 5-year sabbatical rehab, maybe, I don't know, where I was just me, you know, and I was just in silence and quiet, and, you know, I had a normal educated job, and, you know, went to church every Sunday, and I was just able to live outside of that bubble, and it definitely changed me. It definitely changed me, because I come back now and I see all of that stuff, and, you know, TMZ or a newspaper article or whatever. It doesn't affect me as much as it did so clearly in the past. So, you know, it maybe took a little bit longer than I expected, and I'm like really happy that people are saying that I look beautiful. Another thing with Bosch, like, because I feel like I lost 10 years of my life. You know, I feel like I lost a whole decade because of my emotional distress and going to Japan for 5 years, and I feel like I lost a decade, you know, like when I should have been kicking it.
Yeah.
But at the same token, I feel like I've reversed, and I'm coming back, and I'm clear in my head, and I just feel positive vibes, and I think a lot of things are happening, coming my way.
You know, John, I want to ask you this, and this is, and then we're going to talk about those things. But I got to ask you this first, Joni, because listen, with the situation with Triple H and how that went down, I'm talking about the personal relationship, how that went down. Then, you know, the Sean Waltman, you know, the stories are almost iconic. You know, I mean, I can't even imagine what it is to go through stuff like that. But every time I see you, and I tell people this all the time, and that's why I got so emotional when I was worried about you in Japan. And I tell people this all the time. Listen, you don't know this girl's heart. You don't know her heart. I know your heart. You're so beautiful. You have such a great heart. But Joni, I like the fact that there isn't a man in your life. taking care of you and, just, being there for you to give you the support and the love on a daily basis. Does a lot of that have to do with what you went through in the past, or are you open to finding Mr. Right?
I am definitely open, and that is happening. But you have to understand that we've lived in a very specific world, so it's going to take a very specific man to see what he wants and go for me.
Now, Joni,
and I know that.
Joni, if I wasn't,
I'm putting out because I know he's out there.
Joni, I got to ask you this question. If I didn't have all the baggage of a 32-year marriage, 3 kids, great, getting as gray as Santa Claus. If I didn't have all that in my bag, would I be Mr. Right for you? I'm just curious. Would I be the guy for you?
You're my secret crush.
And I want you to know too, I would have no problem going by Mr. Chyna. I'd have no problem whatsoever. I want you to know that. Joni, tell us what else is on the horizon for people that want to see you. I know you're doing appearances everywhere. You're out there again. Let me know what you're doing for those people that want to see you and catch up with you.
So since I've come back, this Comic-Con situation has gone insane. I never knew this was happening out there, but that's been crazy, good crazy. Mm-hmm. And also, I'm introducing Anthony to the wrestling promoters and those wrestling worlds, because I'm getting out there back for some of those shows just for the fans. And a Comic-Con, I can go and make tons of money, but some of the smaller mom and pop shows or whatever, in Tonka New York, or Petit Pennsylvania, whatever, I'm still doing, and I'm negotiating. It's not so much a monetary thing, but I'm just going and doing the do. And it's funny to see Anthony talking to the promoters, from Patanka to a $50,000 show, but it's been definitely amazing to see the fans support and get out there and see all the smiles on the faces and just what the general.
What does Anthony say when the promoter from Dunka Dude says to him, "We'll give her $250 and let her sell her gimmicks"? What does Anthony say when they tell Dunka Dude?
It's killing him, especially when we show up and they don't have the $250. Asking me to sign 10 piles of pictures.
Oh God, yeah.
Of course, I'm loving it, right? But I really believe there's agents on the horizon, and I'm thinking about doing some more serious stuff again, and now that I have my name, and it's just so and after Botched and presenting myself as better, improved, and new out there again. I don't know what's going to happen next. But and there's also this new. I think I can talk about it. We're working on maybe a new wrestling deal for a new company coming up. We're still in negotiations for that.
When are you gonna piggyback me on all this stuff over here? I mean, I'm hearing look like a kid. I'm here in this office every day, entertaining myself. When can I go on this whirlwind with you? I want to go on this whirlwind with you.
You are. You just don't know.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I know. Now, Chyna, I got to ask you this, and I give Anthony all the credit in the world for this. Now, Anthony, I'm guessing, took away your YouTube camera. Is that correct?
No, what we were trying to do, I did that actually.
Right. You had some whack.
I got back from Japan, and I'm just gonna leave that in the past, and I'm gonna whatever.
Joni, is it
And
is it is it fair? Is it
crazy when I did that? I deleted everything, and they were like, "What are you doing?
well?
What did you do?"
Is it fair to say you had some fairly wackadoo YouTube videos? I mean, I remember one specifically where you were twerking for no reason whatsoever. I mean, so is that fair to say, Joni?
I don't see that as strange at all. I see that as like that's me, you know. Like when I ended up on GMC the next day, I was like, "Are you kidding me, really?" But no, I was more like when I did the 50 Shades of Grey with the Kermit the Frog. I was like, "Okay, I need to delete that. That didn't work out right. That's gonna look really weird, you know." But no, I had a lot of fun with that, and like I regret deleting all those videos because I was thinking like, in my own space, I was thinking like people are going to think it's weird or they're going to think I'm like messed up or whatever. But I had a lot of fun with those videos, starting to do those videos.
And they were a lot of fun to watch. What's your taping schedule like?
That's so me. You know that.
I know that. I'm just busting your onions. What's that, like, how often do they tape you? Like, do you tape every day? Like, what's the taping schedule like?
It's random. It's, you know, we go like, I call it sprints. You know, like maybe a week will be like very intense, and then maybe a couple weeks, nothing. And then something will come up and we'll tape it again. That's why I got my little iPhone 6, and you know, we are rocking that. And
wow, so you tape a lot of stuff on your own then, if you think it's worthy.
We're taping a lot of stuff on my own. My filmmaker is still in Boston right now. He's moving out here the first of the year. And we're starting to do a little bit more of the interviews and some of the personal stuff. You know, it's all coming so fast. It's like we need to get these interviews like before Botched and after Botched, and what's happening with WWE, and where this phone call here and this is coming in. And
now, how is it that you're moving your filmmaker out there and you're not moving me out there? How's that work?
Well, you know, the place is ready.
I could see that. John, I got to ask you a personal question. I see that beautiful ocean. Do you ever, like in the middle of the night, have you ever just run out there and skinny dip when nobody was watching?
Yes.
Oh my! Have they got that on film?
No.
Oh, see, you had to say yes. That would have been the draw right there. We would have had to go see the movie just to see that. You know what?
Well, come here and you can do it.
You are at me. Oh my God! They'll ask for their money back if they see me running out in that water naked. Are you out of your mind? Listen, Joni, you're as beautiful as ever. I love the laugh. I love the smile. It never ever gets old to me. Do me one favor before we go. There are so many fake Chyna accounts out there, and people think they're talking to you, and I got to tell them, no, that's not her. Will you set the record straight of what your Twitter is and all that stuff?
Yeah. So Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Chyna Joanie Laurer. We got verified on Facebook, but not on Twitter still. That's been like, you know, I don't know. But it's at Chyna Joanie Laurer. That is the only one.
Hey, you know, I'm writing that down to make sure. You know, I might be able to.
Oh, and the website is therealchyna.com.
Okay. And at Chyna Joanie Laurer is the Twitter. Bro, Chyna,
and we had to do that because we're having problems with the Chyna name again, so we can't use Chyna.
I might be able to help you get verified. Would you want me to see if I could do that for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Only because I know some people that work there. That's the only reason.
Yeah, I've tried everything. Okay. We've tried everything.
I'm gonna write to the guy today. We might be able to do that. All right. Listen. I'm gonna sign off now, but don't go anywhere because I want to give you a personal goodbye. But listen, there she is, everybody. We can see healthy, beautiful. She has the world on a string now. We got this documentary in the works. We'll see what happens with the Hall of Fame. She's out there meeting the fans. She's on Botched. There might be a new big wrestling deal. She's doing it all, and I love her more than ever. Joanie, Chyna, thank you so much for giving us this time today.
Thank you, Ben. I love you.
I love you too. Don't go anywhere. There you have it, everybody. We'll see you right back here next week. Thanks for joining me.
Pro Wrestling's history class is now in session with Back to the Territories. Join host Jim Cornette and J.J. Dillon as they explore Mid-Atlantic wrestling.
Sitting there with his hands like this was Jim Crockett Sr.
3.5 hours of wrestling history told through rare memorabilia and exclusive footage.
Nothing topped Wahoo McDaniel and Johnny Valentine.
Featuring over an hour of lost Mid-Atlantic film footage from Jim Cornette's collection.
The kid from Minnesota. It was going to be something. Ric Flair.
Head back to Mid-Atlantic Wrestling at shootinterviews.com.